Half a world away, the Ruby Princess is now a virtual ghost ship.
A lot of people died and a lot of people suffered. To lose your mother, your father, your wife or husband, their lives is hugely affected.
The cabins that incubated COVID-19 last March lay empty.
I think there's a lot to take away from lessons from the Ruby Princess.
Port visits aren't to collect happy holiday makers, but to restock for a skeleton crew after its last passenger voyage led to hundreds being infected with coronavirus, including nearly 30 who died.
Slips and errors that really shouldn't have occurred. Things happened that shouldn't have happened.
I'm very, very happy to be alive. I'm working through the health issues and enjoying my life.
Tony Londero is looking on the bright side after a voyage that turned his life upside down. In the early hours of March 19 last year, he was in the Ruby Princess's onboard medical centre. Waiting at Sydney's Circular Quay was an ambulance for the last leg of his trip to the Royal Prince Alfred Hospital.
When I was being admitted, I became unconscious, and when I recovered from that, the doctor asked me how I feel, should I be resuscitated if I went unconscious again? And that was pretty upsetting. You start thinking about things you should have done, loose ends tied up, all that stuff goes through your mind, and all the things you wish you should have done or said. And then you start promising yourself that if you do survive, you're going to make changes and do things better.
Righto, this is the time. Catch the fish on this cast.
Tony has since lost his job and isn't well enough to work, so he's moved to the coast, closer to his kids and grandkids.
It's nice having family around, and we are a close family, and that's something when I was sick, I thought I'd never see my grandkids again.
We were conducting our inquiry under the shadow of knowing that some people had certainly died because of the mishap.
The man who ran the New South Wales inquiry into the Ruby Princess can now reflect on the probe half a year on. In his report, Brett Walker condemned mistakes by the state's health department that allowed passengers to disembark, but he did not call for any individuals to be punished. A decision, he says, has been vindicated.
And if we could do it again, it would be very different.
Who've gone on to do what on any view of it is world-class, probably world-beating work in New South Wales through the pandemic. However good you are, you'll make mistakes from time to time.
New South Wales says it's implemented all of Brett Walker's recommendations, but other recommendations that require work from the Commonwealth Government are yet to be enacted. Brett Walker fears these will take far too long.
I have qualms about the Commonwealth Government or the state government acting efficiently. Far too often it's depressingly not very good.
The Ruby Princess, like its sister ship, the Royal Princess, and hundreds of others, are literally all at sea, waiting for life to get back to normal. They're marooned in small clusters all around the globe. Their water slides, empty, high ropes courses, motionless, and like their industry, in limbo.
We have the highest market penetration out of any established cruise market. We have more than 1.3 million Australians who cruise each year, and those past passengers are telling us that they're ready to cruise again.
The federal government has recently extended its ban on international cruises. The industry says it's put a plan to the government for a step-by-step resumption of cruising, including every passenger providing a negative COVID test before being allowed to board.
Then once they're on board, it's about social distancing, it's about not congregating in large groups, it's about wearing masks, and all the things that we're getting used to in our day-to-day lives in dealing with COVID.
my mobility not being all that flash and not going to certainly get any better, the cruising is for me the way to go. Can still enjoy the company of other people, seeing great places, but yeah, age is certainly against us, but that's why I'm keen.
With cruising on pause, Queenslander Marilyn Halliday and husband Ian are caravanning along Victoria's Great Ocean Road. This time last year, they were recovering from their 29th cruising holiday. Their time on the Diamond Princess ended with Marilyn catching COVID and being raced to a Japanese hospital where she'd spend 3 weeks. The experience has scared Ian off cruising.
I'm a bit reluctant to do anything at this stage.
But as for Marilyn...
We were glad to survive. Ready to cruise again!
But researcher Ashley Quigley from Sydney's Kirby Institute is urging caution.
There is a lot of close community contact, and it is very difficult to isolate infected and non-infected persons when an outbreak of any kind is identified. So it presents a really high infectious setting for COVID-19 and other respiratory illnesses.
She says only people who've been vaccinated should be allowed to cruise, and there needs to be on-board COVID testing available.
That would really give a fast turnaround time to the kind of results that you could get.
Well, I would personally like to see it included in the fare. So any issues, straight to the medical centre, get straight onto the issue. No fear of being charged.
Not that Tony Londero plans to go cruising again anytime soon. Instead, he's joined a class action lawsuit demanding compensation from the owner of the Ruby Princess.
The trauma, the pain and suffering, the distress, and the effect to the health. There's a lot of death and a lot of suffering.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.